And for the first time in 2023, we hear those tones.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Steam Room. Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson. Thanks for being here, everybody, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year. And man, I'm so excited. We got a special guest today.
I'm not even going to give it away at this point.
Happy New Year, Ernie.
Right back at you, Chuckster. It was a Happy New Year for Georgia.
Not yet.
It was New Year's Eve when they won, so it was Happy New Year.
But you got to finish it off.
Oh, they will.
See,
come on, man.
I tell you what.
Come on, I'm confident.
I got to come up with some type of illness because if Georgia wins again, first of all, you're already unbearable after one.
I am not. Ask anybody here on the crew. Am I unbearable when Georgia wins?
Yes.
Thank you, Jason. Said, nah.
Hey, if they win, that was the best college day of football for the playoffs.
That was fun to watch, wasn't it?
Both games.
Yep.
Both games.
Yep. So Georgia and TCU on Monday night.
Wow.
For all of the marbles, as they say.
It's going to be historic either way.
Yes, it will be.
I mean, Georgia winning back-to-back would be historic.
And TCU for the first time
ever.
Since
1925. So I'm like, but a smaller school like that winning today and to beat, not saying they are.
Oh, they're not.
Okay. You gonna keep interrupting me? I can't even finish my monologue. Not you interrupting me?
No,
okay, I just can't.
I know where you're going there, but please let's not feed into that.
To beat Michigan and the preeminent program would be one of the coolest accomplishments ever.
It would be.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
So
first
of all,
man, I'm gonna start with Damar Hamlin.
Yep, I knew you would.
Man. Thoughts and prayers to that young kid and his family. Man, that was scary.
You know what, Chuck? I don't make a habit, or it's not like appointment TV for me to watch Monday Night Football or watch the NFL until the playoffs start because I got enough other stuff going on and watching the NBA. But the other night I got home and I said,
This is a big game.
Yeah, it's a big game. I'm just going to check it out.
Yeah.
And as I turn it on, I see them in the studio and see that the game has been stopped. And then I rewind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
It was terrifying.
I didn't realize how terrifying it was until I got to a television. So I had to go to Alabama. So I was driving, and they wasn't saying the CPR stuff on the radio. They're like, he's down. And I'm thinking like, okay, he's down. And then when I get to my mom's house, I turn on the television. I'm like, oh my God. And then you're like, wow, this is so scary. And man, I just, people who know me know football and boxing are my two favorite sports for that reason. It takes tremendous courage to play football and box. Like basketball, we're a bunch of wussies. You know, tennis, same thing. Hockey's tough. But I've always said this. I played football for one day and I quit. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. This is not fun. I'm not going to do it. But I got a certain amount of appreciation for like, you have to really love this thing to do this. Run into a guy full speed for 2 or 3 hours. Like, I'm not built like that.
When we used to have the NFL on TNT back in the 90s, I worked the studio for a while and then was like the stadium, you know, I was the host at the stadium. We had a studio set up and a remote setup. And I would watch NFL games from the sidelines.
Oof.
There is nothing to describe what you see from that vantage point in the NFL, which has always been called, you know, it's a collision sport.
Yeah.
But nothing prepares you for these full speed collisions. I mean, when you see that, you say, who would do this?
Yeah.
And then to watch that happen the other day, and when I did see the play and I saw the replay, you know, how he had gotten up, because I saw nothing as it just looked like a normal play. And then I said, how is he down where I just saw this tackle being made? And then when they showed the replay, it was just, I mean, again, it's horrific. And what is heartening at this point, as the days have gone on, is to hear that
he's better.
Neurologically, he's sound.
Yeah.
He's been squeezing the hands of family members. And so that's all encouraging.
Yes.
And so...
blessings, man.
Oh, man.
And like I say, man, to all my football and my boxing friends, man, I admire y'all and respect y'all for going out there doing what y'all do. And I just want to say, man, bless Damar and his family. And I want to give a shout out. You know, people get an NFL crap all the time about concussions and player safety. And we've seen a couple of instances there like that the guy shouldn't go back in the game. They put him back in the game. But, man, let me tell you something. Those doctors and first responders, man, they save that kid's life.
No doubt.
And, you know, but we always kick people when they're down, saying, hey, they shouldn't have let this guy go back in the game. You saw him stumbling on concussions. And I said, hey, and they're probably right. You know, we don't want guys playing with concussion. But, man, shout out to those people who went out there on that field. And, like, you just got to tell them, man, under pressure, giving guys CPR on the field, reviving them, and get him to the hospital quickly. So just shout out to the first responders and every doctor involved in that situation.
Who's the Bengals head coach?
Zach Taylor.
I heard him. I heard a soundbite with him yesterday when he said that was the most impressive thing that he had seen in that whole terrible scene, setting, was the calm that these guys all showed as they came out, recognized the situation, did what they needed to do, and again, to your point, they saved his life.
They did.
On the field.
And so shout out to Coach Taylor and Sean McDermott. And I've texted with him a couple of times saying, just thinking about you and your team. And, man, because, like, it's going to be – this is a tough situation. I mean, because these guys got to go out there and do the same thing in 3 or 4 days. So just shout out to, man, Damar and his family and the Bengals who were great, the Bills who was his situation, and all the first responders. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to Jeremy Renner, the actor who was involved in that serious snow incident in Reno.
Yeah.
Got crushed by a snowplow, and, man, he looked like he's going to be all right. But, you know, I've never met him. I'm just a fan. But, man, that's got to be a scary situation. And just blessings to Jeremy Renner and his family. I saw he put up a video with his sister and his mom. And, I mean, obviously he's in tough shape, but just shout out to Jeremy Renner because he's a great actor, and I'm just a fan. That's the only 2 tough things we're going to talk about. We got to liven this thing up now because, man, shout out to those 2 guys. Man, there's some stuff going on right now that I got to talk about. These idiots who run our country can't elect the Speaker of the House. They had the 7th vote. Still, we don't have a Speaker of the House, but
you're right up to speed then. So there's been a 7th vote?
Yes, it's a no-go. But this just shows you how idiotic these people are, the Democrats and the Republicans who are running our country. You just got to laugh. I needed to lighten up the moment. I got a couple more things. But these people run our country. No wonder we up not the TV show Schitt's Creek, but we're up Schitt's Creek because these people are ruining our country.
No, you should say it is the TV show.
It is the TV show, but they're so dysfunctional. And the second thing, my man Santos from New York, he's not Jewish.
Are you sure he's from New York?
I'm just telling you. I want you to know, my man, y'all said he's lying. He said, and I quote, I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jewish-like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the hell that means. He said, and I quote, y'all give me a hard time. I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jewish-like. And to see this little puppy dog sitting in the chamber the other night by himself and, like, nobody would speak to him, I was like, please keep the camera on this loser. Because because all you got to do is just laugh. Like, he's just sitting there and nobody would speak to him. And it was just great TV watching this idiot sit there. I mean, it was just great. I mean, but I blame the people of New York. Don't you do any homework on people you vote for? Or you just go in there and pull a lever? Like, I would never vote for somebody. Like, I would do, whether I agree or disagree with whatever they stand for, I would actually at least do like, hey, where's he from? Blah, blah, blah. What's his background? Like, don't you do like any type of due diligence before you pull a lever on something?
Do you do that before you vote?
Yes.
Do you look everybody up and say, oh, he actually didn't go to this college or didn't work for this business?
Ernie,
or is that the media's responsibility?
No, I think it's because I think your vote is really important.
Yeah. I mean, but how are you? So you're going to do the research to say, I want to see if this guy actually worked at Goldman.
I don't know if I would go that far, but because like I'm assuming if a person said they worked somewhere, I'm assuming they worked there.
That's assuming. You're assuming everything you're hearing about these folks.
I mean, he didn't work somewhere at Goldman, like he said. He didn't go to college where he said. I mean, yeah, maybe you're right. The point, I don't go extensive, but
if somebody said, back when I won, I'm the only guy to win the Nobel Prize in back-to-back years, and you'd say, I might want to check that out. But I mean, that's not what the case was here. It would have to be, to me, something that kind of is, hold it, what did he just say? Yeah. Can that be for real? And I don't think in those instances that there was anything that said, "Oh, I need to check that out." But shouldn't
the media had?
That's what I'm saying.
The guys say, like, you should do something about if a guy's running for office.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Yeah. So, Mr. Santos,
if that's actually your name,
that's exactly right. And I'm here for this soccer drama. I'm here for this soccer drama between the Burkhalters and the Rainers. I'm here. Hey, man, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. I needed to lighten up the mood, but you guys got to go and read about this Burkhalter-Rainer drama. It is some of the craziest, silly, stupidest thing because their son didn't get to play a lot in the World Cup. They bringing up something from 1991, and you just got to go and read the story because you'd be like, are you serious right now? Your son didn't get to play in the World Cup and you're going to trash the coach bringing up something. And like I say, you can't be hitting women, can't be kicking women. But in fairness, the guy's been married to the woman 25 years. He went to counseling for kicking her. Shouldn't have kicked her. I'm against all type of domestic violence. I want to make that clear. But this wasn't the right way to handle this situation. And man, everybody, these people should be embarrassed. The Rainers should be embarrassed. But man, you can't make this stuff up, Ernie.
Thanks for lightening the mood.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's get to our special guest. I'm in a good mood now.
That's what we normally do, and we will take a short break here on the Steam Room.
Hey, Anthony Anderson, I'm blackish. I'm not saying I'm black. I'm blackish.
That's well done. Back here on the Steam Room.
This is exciting.
This is, and here's the deal. We have these conversations or these text threads with Cap, our outstanding producer of the Steam Room.
Outstanding is an exaggeration.
Always asking, so who would you guys like to have on the show at some point? We always are kind of throwing ideas out.
Yes.
And one of the ideas that we threw out recently was José Andrés, because we've seen what he's done with the World Central Kitchen, just responding to emergencies around the world and providing food to these folks. And to me, Chuckster, he's the perfect first show of the new year kind of a guest because he's an inspiration. I think when you listen to him, you're gonna see what it looks like. We talk about be a better human.
Yes.
This guy lives this out on a daily basis. And so it is our pleasure to bring him on, Chef José Andrés. We are pleased to have you here. So thankful that you've made the time. We just have one rule in the Steam Room. and that is that you keep your towel on. And and so thank you, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Ernie and Charles. I'm really very proud to be here with you today at the steam room. Really looking forward for the conversation.
You know, when I found out you were going to be our guest, I said, man, that's a coup. That is really impressive. My first question before we get into everything, how old were you when you decided to be a chef?
I'm still thinking about it, Charles, believe it or not. My 3 daughters, every time I cook for them and I ask them how was my dish, very often they give me 2 thumbs down.
No way.
I have the most difficult critics right in my home. So sometimes I'm thinking about it. But I think all my life was about food. My mom and my father were nurses, but they love to cook. They love to cook and they had to cook. It's not like we could go to restaurants. The economics of the family in Spain back in the 70s was that you will go to the market and cook very much every day. So for me, I grew up watching my mom and my dad cooking and feeding my brothers and I and friends. And my mom will make amazing dishes with scraps at the end of the month, using anything was left over in the fridge. I love that. Those dishes were my favorite dishes. Croquetas, those bechamel fritters that my mom will make and will fry, and my brothers and I, we will devour them. And my father will love to cook for everybody in the hospital. He will make this big paella, this big rice dish for everybody. So as you see, my life was always around cooking. So I'm guessing that it's never been a beginning and an end. It's been always cooking since the moment I remember. But yes, obviously, professionally, I could say that I began cooking when I was 14, 15, when I went to cooking school, when I was not doing very well in high school at all. And my father said, well, you don't go to cooking and see if you like cooking as a profession, because you seem to like it when you are at home. And listen, my life changed forever. And I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a soccer player. I wanted to be a basketball player, but none of those things were good enough for me. I am being a cook.
So at the age of 21, you come to the United States from Spain. You go to New York, right? $50 in your pocket. True? So how do you make your way right then?
If you give this story to Steven Spielberg or Ron Howard or other, they can make a big deal out of it, right? It's true, I came with very little money, but I was very, very proud. I already had a job in a restaurant. I had a bed to sleep. I came with a visa. So listen, my life in a way was a very easy life compared to the many people that during years and centuries, they had a much harder time coming to this amazing country, which is America. But yes, I came with 50, but I've always got very good people around me. I think you know this well, Charles, and you, Ernie. I mean, you are only as good as the people you have around you. And my life has always been a blessing of having people that they always had my best interest in them, making sure that I will succeed. So I came with $50, but not like everything was easy. But I will say my life was always surrounded by people that keep pushing me in the back to move forward.
So as a chef, what do you cook every day? Or sometimes you just relax, but do you cook every single day?
Listen, I just came back from Christmas in Spain. And what I do is, before I even land in Spain, I already have the guys that have the best chickens and the best shellfish and the best vegetables. I want these baby peas from this town, and I want these chickpeas from this other town. And so imagine, before even I land, I'm already doing all these phone calls between airport and airport. And so in my vacation, for me, this is what I love to do the most. And I'm cooking for everybody. And the more people, the happier. I think I got this from my father in my DNA. So I'm cooking every time I have the opportunity. obviously in my restaurants, it's very easy. I go in the restaurants, they have all these amazing team members, from the cocktail masters to the chefs. So I could argue that, yes, I cook every day, but obviously my restaurants run because they have amazing chefs in those kitchens, making sure that they put the dream out one plate at a time.
But when you're at home, chef, have you ever said to the family and to those critics, those daughters of yours, hey, we're having leftovers tonight?
Oh, yeah. The mother, my wife, my hero, my saint, the woman that has kept me in the right path all these years.
Well said. She
is a magician also with these leftovers. But at times, it's not even leftovers, because it's the smart thing to do, especially I can afford not to be eating leftovers. But we know it's a lot of people in America and around the world that leftovers is the difference between eating something and eating or eating nothing.
Yeah.
But for me, leftovers sometimes is the best moment of the sequence of making a dish. I mean, in Thanksgiving, if we cook turkey, usually we do, but also we cook baby pig and other things, other creatures, as my daughters say. With the leftovers on Friday, Saturday, I make this big empanada, this kind of pie of meat with onion and tomato, which is a tradition from North Spain. Oh my God, those leftovers are better than the dish itself.
I got to tell you something. I've got to tell you something, though. You're treading on dangerous ground, because we record this about noon here in Atlanta, lunchtime. And when you start talking food like that, when Charles is around, you completely take him out of his game. His mouth is watering. He's hearing you describe this stuff. And I know that this is hard for you, Chuckster.
No, the pig thing is a really important thing for me, because growing up in Leeds, me and the neighbors, we were all really poor. Once a year, we bought 3 pigs. And me and my brothers and the other kids in the neighborhood, we went dumpster diving in Birmingham, and we're diving in old supermarkets' trash cans, getting everything rotted that we can find to bring back to feed to the pigs. So we went like 4 months. These pigs would gain like 100 pounds in 4 months. And then right before winter, we'd slaughter them. And
would you slaughter them, Chuckster?
Well, you have to shoot them in the head.
I'm just asking if you did this.
No, well, my grandfather shot him in the head, because you can't shoot the body because you don't want pellets in there. And then we hang them up from a tree, 3 pigs, and me and my brothers and the kids in the neighborhood, we scraped this pig for like 3 hours. Like you have to
look at the chef listening to this story.
It's like totally white, Ernie, when you scrape all the hair off these pigs, and then they cut it open, and it's the most disgusting thing when they cut it open. But then they send the pigs away, and like in 2 weeks, they come back with about 25 to 30 packages of meat for like the 5 different households. So when he starts talking about the pigs thing, I'm like, yo, man, there's nothing like that.
Yep. So you were, my God, so you were already so young when you were into food. This is a part of you I didn't know. You remember Karate Kid when they are training the young boy washing the car and cleaning the car with the right wash on and left. Did you learn for basketball any moves as you were scrapping the pigs that made you a better basketball player? That would be amazing.
You know what?
Moving the ball up and down.
No, you know what it made me do? It made me work really hard at basketball, because I didn't know I didn't want to do this stuff for long times. I was like, Charles, if you don't work hard at basketball, you're going to be stuck in Leeds, Alabama, skinning pigs your whole life. So I used to think about that in the fourth quarter of a game, like, man, you can't be tired, because you do not want to go back to Alabama and be scrubbing those pigs down. So that's what I used to think about in the middle of the game, I'm not going to lie.
Let's talk. It's very difficult to transition from that last topic into anything else, but let's talk about World Central Kitchen. And I think that's how a lot of folks, really your name and your face were out there in the middle of these natural disasters or in the middle of COVID as you were feeding folks and arranging for them to have something to eat. Where did the idea come from, and how did you get everybody on board to make this happen, Chef?
Well, let me tell you. I mean, there's many reasons why World Central Kitchen exists. I remember Katrina, and I remember the Superdome, and I was sitting in the comfort of my house. And you think about it for a second. How we left so many Americans for so many days without food and water in an arena, downtown New Orleans. They were escaping the mayhem of the Low Nine, and as the water was racing across New Orleans, we just forgot them. You know what an arena is and what a stadium is? Everybody has it wrong. Offshore is a place we go to see the best of the best basketball players, the best hockey players, the best NFL players, tennis. But actually, if you think about it, a stadium, an arena, is a gigantic restaurant that entertains with the sports and music. How many food outlets are inside an arena today? What I'm trying to say with this is when we use the Superdome to host, to give a place for the people to be in safety in the middle of that crazy post-hurricane, food was something was supposed to happen quick and fast. We only needed a few cooks, make sure we could bring some food, and then start cooking, opening some of those restaurants. World Central Kitchen began with this simple idea that America is a gigantic restaurant. It's restaurants everywhere. It's cooks and volunteers and people that want to help, want to be part of a team everywhere. So let's make that happen. So very much I began World Central Kitchen in Haiti after the earthquake in 2010 destroyed Port-au-Prince. Hundreds of thousands of people died, hundreds of thousands of people lost their homes. I went there, quite frankly, not so much to help. I went there to learn how my profession, the profession of people that we feed the few, we could put our talents in emergencies to feed the many. And this is what has happened over the last 12 years. I just came back from Ukraine. We've about to reach 200 million meals, 200 million meals. Almost 5,000 volunteers, team members, 600 restaurants. We are in 1,000 towns and villages, but everywhere. New Orleans. I was last September when the last earthquake, hurricane hit again. We during the pandemic we had more than 3,500 restaurants in our system. We partner with many people in every single state. We went to India to help 100 hospitals in the middle of the pandemic. We went to volcanoes and hurricanes and earthquakes. So that's what we do. We have a very simple motto. We copy that from John Steinbeck, from The Grapes of Wrath. Whatever there is a fight so hungry people will eat, we will be there. We are not a hunger organization. In the long term, we are an emergency food and water organization. Mm-hmm. And I think on that, we are learning how to be quick, fast, and to reach more people, and more important, to make sure we bring the local community to help us to be better. Why? Because locals know best. And we are an organization that we allow the locals to shine, because without them, we couldn't do what we do.
Do you get that sense of giving back from your father?
I think it's something, Charles, that came slowly. I think I did the military service in the Spanish Navy. My father, my mother being nurses, I spent a lot of time in the hospital because we didn't have anybody to take care of my three brothers and I at home. So sometimes the hospital was the place that my mom and my father will exchange my brothers and I from car to car. And I saw the extra mile that every nurse, every doctor goes every day. In this pandemic, we saw heroes every single day by people working beyond what they could do to try to save lives. So yes, I guess that was very important for me. But again, was many moments in my life. In 1993, when I arrived Washington, D.C., I went to an organization called D.C. Central Kitchen, very, very close to the arena where the Wizards play. And this is an organization that was created by Robert Egger, a guy that became like my food mentor, my food Jedi, my food fighter. And he was doing something simple. He was giving people hope. Everybody talks about food waste, guys, but it's the wrong conversation. Of course, we should not be wasting food when we have hungry people in America and in the world. But it's about wasting people's lives. It's not about food waste. It's about people. And this organization began taking people out of the streets, giving them a place to belong, giving them a job, a training, bringing food that was about to be thrown away, and making meals that then we will distribute to the community in DC. 10,000 meals a day, 35 years later, every day. In the process, those men and women learn a profession, cooks. In the process, they were the ones helping feed the people in need, people like them not too long ago. And in the process, those men and women will graduate, and restaurants like mine, we will be able to hire them, giving them not only the opportunity to belong, but giving all of us the opportunity to create a better city, one meal at a time. All these and other stories were important stories for me in doing what I do. All of us, we got influence from others. For me, when I was in the Navy, I was 300 people on a tall ship, 4 masts. First time I came to America was as a sailor in the Spanish Navy. For me to see teamwork, 300 people, that's a matter where the winds came from or the currents in the ocean was pushing the boat. Working together, we could overcome every obstacle and always reach safe port. The teamwork for me is something I learned in the Navy. My father, my mother, many other people, Robert Egger, DC Central Kitchen, all those things as a young boy began shaping in me. That again, we cannot be forgetting those when we can do something about it. That we all must be people of action, boots on the ground. You don't win a game if you don't put your sneakers on and you hit the court. We can change and improve things in life, but we need to put our boots and we need to start playing the game. If we do that, we have a chance to win it, but we have to be playing on the court.
Chef, that is so well put, number one. Number two is that often when these catastrophic situations occur, we see the images on the news from the safety and the warmth of our homes.
Yeah.
But for you, when you fly into one of these areas and, as you say, boots on the ground there, what are you filled with when you see this face to face?
Well, I think the hardest part is always when you go back to the comfort of your room. Not every time the teams, not only of World Central Kitchen, but there's so many organizations around the world that in this minute, you and I were having this conversation, are somewhere helping people under very difficult situations. For me, when I go back to the comfort of my room today, I'm talking to you from Las Vegas, and I'm in a very comfortable hotel. Not always in an emergency, you can do that. Very often we are sleeping in the middle of nowhere because there's no other option. But very often we go to a place that is a safe haven for us. For me, the hardest is to know that I'm leaving people behind that are going to be sleeping with no roof and it's raining, that they have no electricity, that they don't have water to wash, clean themselves. But a little bit of comfort to know that the community is coming together and we're making sure that food and water and sometimes medicines and other things are going to be taken care of for those people. So for me, what gives me a lot of joy, if I could say, is just to see that in the worst moments of humanity, the best of humans show up. Maybe in a place that you have distinctive neighborhoods where here is black people living and here is white people living, and here is rich people living and here are poor people living. And in those moments, it's fascinating to see how everybody comes together. And people that never talk to each other or never work together in some places, all of a sudden they become one, we the people. That there is no anymore Republicans or Democrats. There is just one team trying to win the game. And this is bringing relief to people. So unfortunately, in the worst moments is when you see the best of people. That's maybe why I love to go to those. I am one more volunteer. I'm the founder. Sometimes, yes, because, I've been doing this now for a long time. I gain experience and I try to be a voice, more a whisper to the amazing team leaders of World Central Kitchen. And when it's a big one, I try to go because I keep learning and I keep sharing with me whatever experiences I have.
Well, we definitely don't need Democrats or Republicans. I agree with you on that. But so Ernie thinks that I'm crazy. Would you please tell him there's nothing wrong with a well-done steak?
I mean, listen to me, Charles. When I learned that you eat your steak like rubber, I felt so disappointed, man.
Thank you.
I mean, I love you. I think you are a charismatic person. I hope I'll see more of you too in the years to come. But I know you, Charles, forever because I was a coach when I was young of a basketball girls team in my hometown near Barcelona, where I grew up. Basketball has been always a big passion of mine. And you were one of my favorite players. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
Your charisma, your game, and I would say you're a very raw player. You are who you are, in and out. And if you're a raw player, how the heck you like meat so well done, man? What's wrong here with you? We need to fix that. I know I have time. I'm gonna make my best. That one day the great Charles Barkley will move away from the well-done meat. And maybe one day we'll have a meat done as was supposed to be, which is rare, at the most medium rare.
Hey, chef, that's not all, okay? And I've been telling Chuck this for years, because you know how he eats his steak? He cuts the entire thing up before he eats a bite. That's wrong, correct?
Oh, this is totally wrong. I mean, it's like the free throws, Charles. You don't throw all the free throws at the beginning of the game. You throw the free throws as the free throws show up, man.
Thank you. Like, there you go.
Hey, ref, I'm going to throw the 20 free throws in minute one, and then I don't have to throw them later. Come on, Charles. You don't do this for a lot of reasons. Pure piece of meat. It gave his life, her life, for you to eat it, to chop it up before you even start. I mean, some respect here, Charles. Please. Well, if you like it this way, do me a favor. Tell the chef to cut it for you, and then you have nothing to do. Which actually will be fine to do. And you may argue, well, why I don't do it? Well, if the chef can do it, why I don't do it? Yeah, just tell the chef. You'll make the chef happy. But I think eating the meat well done. Oh my God. We need to try. I understand barbecue. But the grilled piece of meat, especially ribeye, I mean, you have to eat it less cook. It's still I like you, Charles. I will never use this against you.
A couple other quick hitters for you, chef. Charles describes kale. He says kale is just lettuce that's more expensive.
Kale is lettuce that is more expensive? Well, this phrase doesn't give me a lot of information, quite frankly. I was expecting much more from you too, actually. Listen to me. He is implying, this looks like a political talk. Is he implying that lettuce is not good enough at all?
He's not a kale fan.
No, I'm saying all lettuce is the same. They just charge you more when they call it kale. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Now that's better to say. I will say that I love kale. I got to love kale once I came to America. We have other types of kale where I grew up in Spain, similar. But kale is a very delicious thing. And obviously, it's very traditional in many parts across the States. It's many preparations. But let me put it this way. Whatever we pay sometimes, even it's not like I want foods to be expensive, because it's about families that need to feed their family, and sometimes they don't have enough money. But every time we pay for something, Charles, we need to remember who is behind bringing that food to our table. You mentioned at the beginning of this podcast about how hard was your work on strapping the pigs and getting the pigs ready to be eaten. Making food is hard work. It's always somebody working hard in the farms, in the sea, working early in the morning until late at night, making sure that we have food in our supermarket so we can feed our family. So I know I'm getting deeper here, but the truth is, give some respect to kale. Give some respect to greens. They've done nothing to us. They only want the best for us. They want to be like you and me, and they want to be loved and liked.
Well, I think
you need to do one thing, Charles, is speak to your vegetables. Speak to them, and they will talk back to you. And if you speak to them and they speak back to you, and you listen to what they have to tell you, they will tell you, eat more spinach, eat more kale. Don't overcook your steak, please. I like when I'm more pink. They will tell you things maybe you are not aware right now.
And perhaps show some more respect to avocados, because you're not an avocado fan either.
I was in a Mexican restaurant, and I think everybody talks about that Mr. Barkley doesn't like avocados.
And has never tried guacamole.
You look like you don't like guacamole. I mean, it's almost like it's a sin. Who cannot like guacamole? You know, Charles, before getting to meet you, like now we are best friends after this podcast, but I will say that you are a guacamole guy. You are a guacamole. I mean, the way you play, you are guacamole. I mean, the way you move in the court, off the court, the way you smile, you are guacamole. I cannot believe it's something. I think you need me in your life, Charles, and I'm going to fix all these things on your behalf if you give me an opportunity. You are a guacamole guy. I'm telling you.
You say you got 3 daughters.
Yeah.
I was not great. Well, let me rephrase it. I was awful when they start bringing boys home. How are you? I mean, first of all, I don't even know how old your daughters are, but how were you as a dad when they started bringing boys home?
Well, yeah, they don't bring boys home in my home. I mean, I have 3, 23, 21, and 19. And when they began bringing friends, I have a big collection of knives, and many of them are unused. And my first phrase will be, and by the way, you see all these knives, they've never been used before. I think this was a very polite way to send a very clear message. Listen, my daughter, they have a great group of friends. But yeah, I agree with you, Charles. It's like I have 3 little daughters that not too long ago I just was holding them in my arms. And now they are become this amazing 3 young women who we did this TV show that is in Discovery Plus, José, Andrés, and family in Spain. And where now they are so opinionated that they are bitching about it, that their names are not in the title of the show. Saying, family, what family? Do you have other families? We are, yes, Lucia and Carlota. So it's not anymore these 3 girls, they've never been, that they do whatever their daddy tells them to do. Like they're going to second guess me all the time. They're going to show me better ways all the time. And they're going to be highly opinionated all the time, which is in the way it should be. So I'm very, very proud of them. But the knives is real. I have knives. They've never been used. So those boys, they better be good.
They get the message. And we'll be checking out José Andrés and Family in Spain. 6-part series has just debuted at the end of December on Discovery Plus. And we can't thank you enough, Chef, for joining us today.
This was awesome and special.
Thanks for your stories, and thanks for your inspiration to get out there and let's look after one another.
Let's do that, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. In Washington, D.C., you're always welcome there, or I'll go see you in Atlanta or anywhere else in America or around the world that our lives may take us.
Hey, this was an honor and a privilege. Continued success.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
So listen, maybe we were supposed to do it, but, the mother, I don't know even why I didn't tell you, but the mother of Pau Gasol was the boss of my mother.
Really?
She was.
But
I never met Pau until he moved to Los Angeles. And happens I opened a restaurant in LA. And it's when we became very good friends, and Mark and everybody, and all the Spanish mafia, Calderon and Ricky Rubio, Ibaka, all the Spanish mafia.
Wow. Nice little nugget to drop there on the way to break. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Chef.
Yeah. So, guys, see you soon. Thank you for inviting me, and until I see you again.
All right. See you.
That was amazing. Yeah. Some great people in the world.
No doubt. Back here inside the steam room,
I am refreshed.
Yeah, well, you should be. We had a couple of weeks off.
I know.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I feel like you got a little.
I'm glad to be back. Happy New Year, Mr. Kiley.
Got the legendary longtime producer of Inside the NBA, Tim Kiley here.
And the lionized Ernie Johnson.
He lies.
No, lionized.
Okay.
No, you're lionized.
Well,
you're lionized.
I got to give you some. Chuck, you know how you always talk about a brotherhood?
Yes.
We have a brotherhood.
Yep.
I want to give you this for brotherhood. That's, if you could put that on your head for a minute, that's Damar Hamlin's high school, which is my high school.
You went to high school where he went?
Central Catholic.
So that's our high school. And I know you said some kind words about him. My best friend is the head coach. And talked about unbelievable kid, just
some of the stories about man, in our business, which is media, we get beat to death with negative stuff, whether it's news, whether it's salacious in sports and things like that. Man, there's so many good people out there like this kid, but the fans, I mean, his toy drive is over $6 million now.
Yeah.
Man, and it brightens my heart that when we get a chance to see how great people are, because unfortunately in our business, negativity sells, and we kind of get beat to death every day by negative stuff. But when you saw the humanity, you saw the people, man, to see those grown men crying on the field for their brother, you see the fans crying, it just made me feel good. And now to see all the money that random strangers don't even know this kid from Adam. $6 million, it probably gonna go a lot higher, but for $6 million to be raised for some kids you don't know because you have empathy for him and his family, man, there's so much good out there.
Yeah, he's a great kid, I can attest. But I know Ernie reported that his conditions improved, and we're all hopeful.
Yes,
our brotherhood at Central Catholic. So
thanks to all those folks who were praying for him too.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, it changes things. It really
does.
does.
And you know what's interesting? I watch a lot of sports stuff. Guys who actually played football, the Damian Woody, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, Rob Nikovich, guys like that. To see the pain and anguish that they were going through was like, wow. Because like I say, when you in the brotherhood, football, like I say, I always look at all sports. But when you in that particular brotherhood, man, you could just see how hard it was for them to talk about that on television.
Yeah, it was. It was tough. I was tough. I'll try to make a transition now.
Yeah, we got to.
By asking Ernie a question, if I could. Ernie, have you ever heard of Scott Stallings?
I have heard of Scott Stallings.
He is. Yeah, this is up your wheelhouse.
The golfer?
He is the golfer. 54th ranked golfer in the world. Won 3 PGA titles.
Yes.
And has been apparently wearing out walking to his mailbox to wait for his Masters invitation, which he hasn't received yet. As it turns out, there are 2 Scott Stallings that live in Georgia.
Oh, I saw that the other guy got it.
And here's the direct message from Scott Stallings to Scott Stallings. Hi, Scott. My name is Scott Stallings as well, and I'm from Georgia. My wife's name is Jennifer, too. Her IG is blacked out. We have a condo, and I received a FedEx today from the Masters inviting me to play in the Masters tournament April 6th to 9th on 2023. I'm 100% sure this is not for me. I play, but wow, nowhere near your level. It's a very nice package to complete with everything needed to attend. I think we have some confusion because of our names, our wife's names, and geographical location. I can be reached at blank, and I am more than happy to send this package to you.
I'm 100% sure this is not for me, but I play well.
Exactly. So he did get the real estate Scott Stallings sent the golfer Scott Stallings an IG. It's Instagram, Chuck, for you, and that's how they connected. And I'm
really not kidding. I promise.
That is tremendous. As you say all the time, tremendous.
Yeah.
That is tremendous.
All I would say.
No, first of all, Ernie, you show up.
I would say is, look, there's been a mistake, but I need to keep this, and I'm going to have it framed, and it's going to go in my
I was going to ask Ernie, would you, even though you've already played Augusta, would you just say, what the heck, and bring your sticks and show up and just...
100%.
You would do that?
Hey, God, 100%.
Just to be able to hit balls.
Exactly.
See, how long until I get...
Because let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If he shows up with the invitation, they probably got to let him on, right? Or any other...
Yes.
You think the other players going to be like... Because he ain't going to be telling people he's Scott Stallings. He's just going to go out there and start hitting balls.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And never know. That's a tremendous story.
It's got a good finish to it. Speaking of finishes, the chef was unbelievable.
He was great.
And people here, everybody in the studio is stunned that you've never tried guacamole.
Because it's disgusting looking.
Well, we're going to take a look and see. Abby's coming out with it.
Hey, go Dogs, Abby.
That look good to y'all?
Oh, it's awesome, man.
That look good to y'all?
Yeah. Well, go ahead, try it.
Come on, man. You got to try it.
Da-da-da-da.
Can I, seriously, that looks appetizing to y'all?
Just put a little dab on the end of a chip and put wine in.
More than a little dab.
No, I'm not going to do more than a little dab.
We'll be the judges of how, come on, let's go. You got to have, that'll give you an idea. Oh, eat it with the chip, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, what's the verdict?
That's not bad, he's going to say.
I didn't say it was good.
That's not bad,
That's
though.
not a theory if it's not bad.
Well, then, okay,
just be good.
Describe it.
Mush. It's just a little pile of mush.
Would you eat another one?
Nope.
Come on.
I tried it. You said try it.
No,
I know.
And the first time it don't taste like anything. It tastes like, seriously.
Tastes like avocados.
It's just a little green patch of mush. That's what it tastes like. It's just mushy stuff.
But now you can say,
at least you said no.
Okay.
I've tried guacamole.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have any tonight.
Hey,
I've tried it, but no
let me
thank
tell
you.
you something. I almost went through the TV and started swinging on Chef when he called me a loser for getting my steak well done.
Yeah,
you're lucky I got some self-control.
Yeah, and I loved his advice.
Lucky.
His advice to you is that next time you order, just have him cut it up in the back so you're not.
But see, okay, he did say something that I can ask you. Like, he said you eat it rare as possible. You agree with that?
No, I go medium rare.
I go rare.
I go medium.
I go rare. Hit it over the head and give it to me.
No, I go medium.
I can't even get it medium well.
Well, just anything. Just don't do shoe leather. Well done.
Exactly.
You know?
Come on. All right, last thing. I got to wrap it up, boys. Chuck, just simple prediction. Ernie's going to make his in the next segment. Who do you like in the game? It's 14-point spread.
I'm taking TCU. I can already tell you that right now. I
Don't wager too much there, big dog.
So I had TCU and I had Ohio State. I won both games last week. I thought Georgia would win the game by a field goal, and I ended up being right. I knew Michigan was not going to win by 8. But I think Georgia is going to win the game, but I'm betting on TCU plus 14.
Friendly wager?
It's not enough.
Friendly wager, Ernie? Anything that you
what
can think of?
What do we normally do? Chuckster?
$100.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
And I'm giving you 14?
Yeah.
Is that the line?
That's the line.
You want 15?
Yeah.
You know what?
Ooh, Ernie is slinging it.
See.
I'll give you 17.
Riverboat Ernie.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take it.
I'll give you 17. And when I win that, you eat some more guacamole next week.
Deal.
And some fried okra.
Nobody eats okra. Okra is more disgusting than guacamole.
I love okra. It's great.
Okra is not great. It's just a slimy.
You put it in gumbo, it's all over.
You got TCU and 17.
Yes. First of all, everything is good in gumbo. That's a caveat.
Okay, there you go.
We'll be back to wrap it up with the answering machine right after this.
Guacamole. Jeez.
Chuck and Ernie in steam room. Come and join us in steam room. Chuck and Ernie in steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room.
Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room.
Makes you laugh every time. Welcome back here to the Steam Room, you loyal steamers. Thanks for joining us for a show of 2023.
What's this, Ernie?
What is what?
That thing on the table.
We talked about that when we started the show. It's a Georgia football helmet. National championship game coming up on Monday.
Just wanted you to
bring
it out again.
Yeah. We have 4 calls on Chuck's answering machine today. And the number,
be a
the
good
number
country.
by the
be
way,
a good country.
404-987-0330 if you have something that you want Chuckster to hear. And again, we take calls from all corners of the globe.
I love it when we get calls from out of the world, all over the world.
Then apparently, I'm told by Cap, you will probably like this first one.
Hello, world. This is Charles Barkley. Leave me a message.
Hey, Chuck and Ernie. I'm a loyal listener from Dubai. Chuck, you always keep talking about visiting many countries in the world. That's what you want to do when you retire. How do you feel about foreign food? And what kind of different cuisines do you try and some dishes to try from foreign food? Thank you.
I think the whole show has kind of taken his food angle after we had Chef on earlier.
Chef had a great point. First of all, I love Spain.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I don't like about Spain, all that meat they give you before your meal and the olives.
You fill up on that.
First of all, that's
that's a self-control issue.
It's
an appetizer, Chuck.
If it's good, you're going to keep eating it.
It's an appetizer.
Because, I love olives too. But that I guess in Spain, that's their specialty, that carpaccio, the salamis and things, they are amazing.
Do they eat too late for you in some of these places? Like I remember going to Greece.
Yeah, you eat
I was
late
covering a track meet and I was like, hold it. We're going to dinner at 10:15? Really?
Yeah. That doesn't bother me. Because
oh, you could eat at all hours.
Yes, especially if it's good. But, the chef said something, he mentioned paella, which is probably one of my more, it's hard to get good paella in the States, but in Spain, man, it is unbelievable. The different type of meats you can get in there, it is amazing. I actually have been to Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I did a USO tour. I went to Kuwait, Dubai, Qatar, Iran too, I think. Iran, Kuwait, Dubai, and Qatar. Yeah, I think that was it. I did a USO tour, which is really one of the coolest things I've done. It was kind of crazy, though, because I couldn't tell my family because, they worried about the terrorists. They would love to kill a celebrity. So when you go, they set it up like months in advance, and you can't tell anybody because they're like, Charles, I couldn't tell my mother and grandma. This is how long ago it was. Yeah. They're like, they might be listening. And because they sneak celebrities in and out all the time. Because, like I say, it just ain't safe. They would love to, those terrorists, if they killed a celebrity, they'd be going crazy. So I had to keep it a secret for like 2 months. And I talked to my mom and grandmother like every day, basically, my entire life. And my mother and grandma, when I got back, I was over there like for 10 days, if I remember correctly. When
Why
I got
didn't
back,
you call?
Where the hell you been, boy? And you know, my grandmother doesn't play. I said, Mom, Granny, I couldn't tell y'all. I did a USO tour. I went and visited troops. I was in Iraq, Kuwait, Dubai, and Qatar. And you're like, what? You went over there and didn't tell? I said, couldn't tell you. We had to keep it a secret. And the thing that was funny, so when we're flying in, Ernie, the plane starts doing this. You're like, yo, man, what the hell going on over there? He's like, well, we have to do that just in case they got one of them armed RPGs, I think they call them. I said, what do you mean? Those shoulders rockets, they could shoot us down. I'm like, you didn't tell us that. That wasn't in the manifest.
Oh,
and I was like, so we going in and we're doing just like this. And I was like, you going crazy. He's like, wait, what do you mean the handheld shoulder things? He's like, yeah, we have to avoid those.
I would pay good money to hear you rattle off the names of those countries again. Because when you said, I could swear there was a Kauai in there. There was
Kuwait,
there was
Iraq,
an Iraq.
Kuwait, Dubai, and Qatar.
Yeah, but
Iraq,
you should have heard it when you
Iraq, Kuwait, Dubai, and Qatar.
Yeah, it didn't exactly come out that way.
And I'll tell you what's something funny.
What?
It was funny at the time. So I'm right there on the Iraqi border with some troops. And these little kids are like 20, 30 yards away. And they had no idea who I was. So I start walking toward them. And the guys are like, be careful, Charles. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, just be careful. And they started getting closer to me because they're like, hey, you never know what these kids, you've seen things in the movies. Like, and I was like, whoa. I said, I don't even know what to do. They're like, we got your back, but be careful. You never know. If you see anything, it was great though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go to call number 2.
Chuck and Ernie, hey, this is Matt from Richmond, Virginia. Chuck, hey, question for you. I was just listening to one of your recent episodes, and you're talking about wanting to meet Miles Teller, but you, quote, didn't want to bother him. I was wondering if there is a celebrity code of ethics when it comes to wanting to meet somebody else. When and where are the times to do that? Thanks. Love your show. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well,
and I have a story to go with this.
The reason it's a tricky subject, my man, like I'm a big Miles Teller fan. He's fantastic. I've seen him in obviously I see him now in Top Gun, but he's been in a lot of great things,
like Whiplash,
which I haven't seen yet. He was great. He was in that Vinny Pazienza movie.
Yeah,
he was great in that.
Mm-hmm. So answer the question on ethics. Well, I never thought I'd ask you to do that.
Okay, see, there you go again. As the man who has, you're such a good person. You can open your computer up on television. There's no chance Chuck is holding up his computer on television.
Okay,
just zero.
Just answer the question.
Delete. Okay,
just answer the question.
It's a really slippery slope, my man, because if you walk up to a celebrity you want to meet and they're an asshole, you'd never get over it, and it's traumatic. It's happened. I'm not going to call any names. So every celebrity is not friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Every celebrity is not friendly. And I don't judge them by that. Because sometimes, they've been doing it for a long time. They just they're sick of it. And I am very careful who I walk up to. Unless they make eye contact with me and acknowledge me, I don't walk up on them. Because like I say,
yeah, but you're the Chuckster. They'll recognize you and say, "Oh, Charles."
Yeah, and hopefully
it's not like it's just somebody coming up from nowhere.
But hopefully they are cordial. And first of all, I think they should be. Just say hello and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But you got to understand something, Ernie. These people have to deal with this shit every single day.
Yeah.
See, people think they're the only person that's coming to say hello to you, and that's it during that time. They don't understand, man, these people deal with this every single day. They're not allowed to have a bad day.
And all it takes is one person to say, man, this guy blew me off. He was so rude, or.
Yeah.
But we were doing March Madness one year, and I walked downstairs, and Chuckster is sitting here with a few other folks and says, hey, do you think that looks like Julie Louis-Dreyfus over there?
Yes.
But I don't want to, I'd like to meet her, but I don't. I said, I'll introduce you, because I had met her in France. Cheryl Ann and I had been over there, And we had met, and her son was going to Northwestern to play for Chris Collins, and so we had this big long conversation. So I felt totally comfortable going up and saying, "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again. We met in France." And then I said, Charles Barkley, he would, and of course she wanted to meet the Chuckster. Yeah,
but that makes it all worthwhile because I'm a fan,
right?
Like when I meet an NFL player, a boxer, a baseball player, like. One thing about being a jock, we're all in the same fraternity. Because I felt a certain type of way when that kid got hurt, when Damar got hurt.
Right.
Like, because I look at him as part of my fraternity. Anybody that plays sports is part of my fraternity. Like, they know what it goes through to get there. Because once you get to the pros, you're a good player.
Yeah.
Like, every player is not a great player, but if you get to the pros, you're a good player.
Hey, I made a mistake. We don't have 4 calls. We have 3.
Okay.
Would you like to hear the last one?
Yes.
Good. Let's do it.
From 50 for the win in a spot in the national championship game. It's on the way. No good. He hooked it. And Georgia is going to survive.
This is a phone call?
Not a good one. Hey, the thing I noticed about that?
So did somebody just call the answering machine and play that? Is that what happened?
It's probably my friend Jason Brady, who's, other than you, the biggest Georgia Bulldog fan in the world.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
But you know what's funny about that call? That was the quickest, it's no good in the history.
It was immediate, yeah.
Like,
I feel for, I hate it when it comes down to one guy.
Well, to me, I actually had Ryan Day is a terrific coach, but I thought he made a mistake, to be honest with you. And I hate playing Monday morning quarterback because they had 3 plays to get that kid closer. I don't consider a 50-yard field goal a chip shot. No. I know.
Especially with all that riding on it?
Yes. Like, I thought he should have tried to get him, especially in college where every time you get a first down, the clock stops. I thought he could have tried to throw for a couple more first downs. So I'm not going to, I saw the internet. It's so funny. People know I don't listen to the internet, but when I say I saw it on the internet, let me make this perfectly clear. I am not a loser, okay? I don't live on the internet. I get all my internet stuff from Bleacher Report, okay? That's the only time I look at comments and things like that. I don't ever surf the internet. I'm never going to do any social media. I don't care about that because I'm not a loser like some of you people are who live on the internet and think y'all opinion matter. But I'm religiously addicted to Bleacher Report. I think they do a fabulous job. They keep me up to date on all my sports. I will occasionally go to ESPN to check some stuff out because I think they do a good job. But when I say internet stuff, don't think I'm lying. No, I'm not a loser. I don't stay on the internet reading what everybody y'all damn idiots got to say. But shout out to Bleacher Report. They do a great job.
Well, nice way to pump up the company. That was really nice. Great way to end.
And let me just leave it on this note. To the loser who called that last call,
thank you.
Well played.
That's it for the first episode of 2023 on the Steam Room, Season 4. Yes.
Good luck Monday.
Thank you very much, Chuckster.
Good luck Monday.
45-17. You heard
getting
it
out of
here
hand
first.
right now, Ernie. You're getting out of hand right now. You're predicting a blowout like that?
Yes. See you next week, folks.